All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to the Truth Seeking Network. Uh, Before we get started, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the videos, okay? And make sure y'all share these videos. I'm putting these videos out because now is the time. I mean, sincerely, now is the time for to wake people up, okay? And in the past, you always hear people have debates about Christianity or if is this real or not. But and everybody's like basically arguing their points. They're arguing, talking back and forth, right? So I'm trying to do something different, right, than everybody else is doing. Well, I don't know. Maybe other people are doing this too or have done it too, but I'm trying to do it in a way there is nothing. Yeah, so I'm trying to do it in a different way so that y'all will understand it, okay? And so that there would be no debate no more. We don't need to debate this anymore. Now, if any of you guys been following my videos, if any if any of you guys been following my videos, right? Y'all know that I've been breaking everything down and showing you because in my last video that I just did about the origins of salvation, Arius, it was called a guy called Arius, and he said that Christ or this thing was created. And matter of fact, they call him Arius the heretic, right? And we know now that what he was saying is the truth. It was created. Christianity was created. And the thing about it is, it's everywhere. You go to your churches, people got on their gravestones, they put a cross up. It's everywhere. And people say it's separation between church and state. That's not true. It's not true between separation in church and state. Okay? Because of the church, they have states. It was the Roman Catholic Church that conquered all these areas of the world, and they brought in Christianity, and they were the creators of this thing called Jesus. And they're still doing it. Look at the Sudan. Half the people are Christian. They're taking over every nation on this planet with this false relationship, and they set up these puppet governments and get the people to follow behind this. And it's sad. We got the Fed raising interest rates, right? And they didn't change the definition of a recession. Today, I think they raised the debt ceiling to 1.5 trillion. Again, keep inflating the money, and then they talking about they fighting inflation. Now, there are people who you see now, and I'm gonna tell you, we've been in a recession a long time already. But since they changed the definition of recession, right? Now you see the people, right? You see the people in the stores, raiding the stores, grabbing all the clothes, and the lot of the stores are shutting down because of people stealing. What do you think was gonna happen? I mean, if you was the poorest of the poor, you already was in a recession. They're in a depression right now, and they still talking about going into a recession. I mean, they create the problem. And then I'm also showing on this channel. I'm also showing on this channel. I'm going to cut this phone off. Hold on a second. All right. I'm also showing this channel that we were the indigenous of America. We are the indigenous people of America. We're not from Africa. Africans know we're not from Africa. And they don't even call themselves African. They call themselves where they're from, Ethiopia, Nigeria. I got a lot of friends that's from the continent. And I have conversations with them. And they know it's a bold-faced lie. And shout out to my African cousins or my people from Uganda, people from Ethiopia, my friends from Ethiopia. I got friends from Ghana. I got friends from other places in Africa. Oh, so-called Africa. It's called that today, right? But that's a whole new different video. I don't know if I even put that in. Maybe I did put it. No, I don't think I did a video on that yet. Maybe I have. I don't even know. But that name, Africa, It's not even the original name. But like I said, that's a different video. All right. But the point is, we never came from Africa, and this United States government knows it. And shout out to the white Europeans that came here who are telling the truth, or the white Americans who y'all out there telling the truth, and any other nation who knows it tells the truth. They know who we are. They know that we were always in this land, and that we are the true Americans, not the fake people on the people they got on the no offense, but a lot of them are European. They're on the Dawes Road. They're part of the U.S. That is a government organization. And the real indigenous Americans are in those projects where the guns, the drugs, the alcohol, right? And the churches are. And it's all part of the system. It's all part of the system. And so we have to make a change. And the biggest change of all is right here. It's the mindset. And the majority of these people are Christians. And like I said in my other video, we can't never do a movie without having a church scene. We can't never do a movie without being in the church scene. And we act like the church is ours. And it's not. They created this and gave it to you. And my videos prove it. And now I'm breaking down the things that supposedly pertaining to Jesus or what he said. I'm showing that I showed you in all my videos so far, and nothing about Jesus Christ was true. None of it. It was all created, and I'm proving it. And all you have to do is go watch my videos. Watch who was the Messiah. You'll see that the New Testament was created over top of the so-called Old Testament, but they tried to make a book and base it off of that subject matter, but it don't mesh at all. And some of the stuff is just flat out lies. Even the resurrection deception, right? You got 4 different resurrection stories. I watched some guy named David Jeremiah on TV the other day. He was doing the resurrection. He went to John, he went to Matthew, he took a little piece from each one, and everybody in the audience all clapping and all excited. And he knows, he has to know. He took a little piece from each one. But if you read each 4 of those gospels, you will see that each of those stories are totally different. So how can you have a resurrection, talking about, do I believe in the resurrection, but you got 4 different stories? This problem in this country, they're creating. The indigenous people, and a lot of us are waking up. So let's shout out to that. I mean, a lot of people are telling the truth. Shout out to the blacks, the whites, everybody, the age, whoever's telling this truth. The truth is coming out, and they know, and they're scared of that. This government knows that we're not from Africa. That's why the reparation thing won't be right. We didn't just build this country. It was always our country. We were always here. Our families know it. But we the only people in the world whose names keep changing. Black, colored, Negro. All these names were given. Even the last one. Now we 2 continents, African, American. Nobody from Africa coming over here to rescue us, to bring us back. Nobody has ever came back from Africa to bring us back. They're coming over here to make money to send back home to their people. All of them are doing it. Everybody I know is doing that. We have nobody to send money back to. We have nowhere else to go. All your people, where? From Philadelphia? Where? Virginia? New York? Louisiana? Florida? Huh? California? See? Texas? All your people are from here. And they know this. So why is it so hard for this government to tell the truth? Why won't they tell the truth about who we are? But I'm going to tell you something. A government that don't want to tell the truth about who you are and then gave you a false deity to worship, they don't like you. And this goes for anybody, not just us. Because The white Americans here also been lied to. A lot of them know the truth though, but a lot of them don't. And that's what I said. This channel is not trying to be into the, I'm trying to get into racial, all that kind of stuff. I'm not trying to do nothing. I'm just here for the truth. And I applaud anybody who tells the truth. That's all this. We just about all the lies. We try to debunk the lies, and they call debunking lies, oh, I'm being racial. No, I'm here just to tell the truth. And anybody, whether good or bad, I'll tell the truth about us, the same way I tell the truth about it, but when the truth comes out, it's the truth. And sometimes the truth ain't black or white. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. It was our own people that sold us out like they do today in America. Okay? We can't put it on white people. Our people did this, and we know it. And they know it. And we have a lot of flaws. But like I said, but here, I'm just trying to wake people up to the truth. That's all I'm trying to do. Now I'm about to go into Matthew again, and I'm going to show you some of the things about Jesus, and then we're going to go back to the so-called Old Testament, and then we're going to go to back where they got it from. And I want everybody to do what I'm doing. Y'all could do this too. It's time to put this to rest. This Christianity thing has got people's minds blown. They're causing all these issues, and all of y'all are running to the Bible. Oh, yeah, well, I'm glad we got Jesus. I'm glad we're going to be raptured out. You're not going to be raptured out, people. You're not going to be raptured out. Everybody you know has died, nobody came back to life. They're gone. You're not going to be raptured out because it was created. There were other gods before him who had the same attributes. And now in our day and time, y'all believing in him. Arius, the so-called heretic, he tried to warn people back then. But is he a heretic? I'm bringing down all the stories of Christ now, and I'm showing y'all straight up. When them pastor can't come back at me and say, oh, no, he did this, or he's twisting the scriptures. They ain't twisting nothing. I'm going exactly where they got it from. And I'm showing you that it's a bunch of bull crap. All right? So let me take it off of me, and we're going to get into this. All right, everybody. So now I'm back into the book of Matthew. Back into the book of Matthew. So here we go, y'all. So I need y'all to, pastors and everybody, y'all turn to Matthew chapter 12. All right? Because I got a few more things about this chapter, and I got a few other things that I'm going to show y'all today. I want y'all to just use your brains and start to think. We have to come out the brainwashing, y'all. Like I said, all my videos, including the last one, now I'm proving Arius is right. I did the virgin birth for y'all. Go back and check out my virgin birth. I did the Christmas tree, right? I did praying over your food. I mean, I did so many videos, right? And all you have to do is just get your Bible and follow the videos. Okay, just go and do it. And if you're skeptical, and if you think I'm lying, then just pick up your Bible. Right? What are you scared of? What are you afraid of? But this has got to stop. And y'all have got to spread this message out, because somebody has got to do it. We have all been fooled by this. This is the biggest lie that's out there, and nobody's talking about it. Every Sunday morning, you got people all piled up in the churches. You got people piled up listening to this pastor, and what? The pastor got all kind of, he got, the plate goes around how many times? How much money are they, how much money are they pulling in? How many billions of dollars are they pulling in a year off of the people? They flying around in jets, right? Fancy cars. They living in mansions, big houses. And they up there telling you stories, feel good stories. It's time for us to think. Now, if you want to follow that because you want to have something to believe, that's fine. Go ahead, help yourself. I'm not want to stop you. Keep it going. But the truth needs to come out. The lies have got to stop. One lie, like I said, now I'm gonna say it again, is who we are in this country, America. We are not African, African American, Afro American. We're not black. We're not colored. We're not Negro. We ain't none of the things they called us. Even the first name they call us Indian. All these names were given to us. Land was taken. As I proved, I said I got a video called The Purge, right? The purge slash massacres that happened in America. Go and see, watch the video and see who was here first and see who took the land from the people that was already here. How many videos, how many outside of my video? They're documentations of people who claim are still alive, who telling you what happened when their land was taken from them. But they got the slave story out there. Like everybody looked like us was a slave. We all came from slavery. That's a lie. I'm not saying stuff didn't happen because we all in slavery now. Employment, right? We all got to pay taxes. Why are we paying so much tax? Why are we paying tax to these people? You own the land. United States is a corporation. And the Americas or the land was already here before the corporation landed on top of it. So now you got to claim to be a U.S. citizen. That means you're a citizen of the corporation. You got to have a birth certificate, a social security number, so they can track you, so they can make sure you pay your taxes to them. But what about the original landowners? Why is the original landowners paying taxes to anybody? Why does the original landowners got to pay or follow laws of the corporation that landed on it? Why? It doesn't make sense. Anyway, let me stop because I'll be going off on that stuff too. Let me get into Matthew. All right, here we go. At the time Jesus went on the Sabbath day, this is Matthew 12 again, y'all. At that time, Jesus went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and his disciples were hungered and began to pluck the ears of corn and eat. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, Behold, thy disciples do which that is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day. But he said unto them, Have you not read what David did when he was an hungered, and they that were with him? How he entered into the house of God and did eat the shewbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests. Okay, so you see what Jesus just said and what they just said to Jesus, right? The Pharisees. Now, I wonder how many pastors actually went back and did what they said, line over line, here a little, there a little, precept upon precept. How many of y'all have actually went back and looked at the story when David ate the shewbread? Because you're going to find out something very peculiar that Jesus said here that was not the truth. Because now we're going to go back over to the real books and we're going to read the real story. And I want y'all to follow me because y'all going to see something. And I'm going to ask y'all the question, how come Jesus got this wrong? How did the Lord, how did the God that's supposed to create, according to Christians, that created everything, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, something like that, right? We're going to go to that too. So how did he get this wrong, y'all? Because let's read it again. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, Behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day. But he said unto them, have ye not read what David did? And when he was a hungered, and they that were with him, how he entered into the house of God and did eat the shewed bread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests. And I'm gonna tell you something. You know what they did to y'all? These people who wrote this New Testament, they really did hate the Most High. All the stories of the Most High in the Old Testament, so-called, are not true about him either. But this person they know what they did when they wrote this, and they planned on people's ignorance purposely. Because to me, this is like taunting y'all. Because he said, "For them which and they that were with him," how they keep emphasizing that. How what David? Have you not read what David did when he was a hungered, and they that were with him? Keep in mind, and they that were with him. All right. So now let's get over to the real scriptures, and we're going to read this. Oh, yeah. So what I'm doing, I'm going to give you all a brief description of what's going on. So, and this is I went to Psalms, First Samuel chapter 19, and basically what's going on is that Saul is seeking to kill David. Okay, he wants to kill David, and Jonathan, who is Saul's son, right? Him and David were such good friends, and they basically gonna make a pact with themselves, as you see, to see if Saul is trying to kill King David or not. Okay, well, David at this time or not. All right, so let's read it. Let's start. I'm gonna kind of skip to this one. Then I'm going to chapter 20 and to 21. All right. Uh, First Samuel chapter 19. And Saul spake to Jonathan his son and to all his servants that they should kill David. But Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted much in David. And Jonathan told David, saying, told told David, saying, Saul, my father, seeketh to kill thee. Now therefore I pray thee, take heed to thyself until the morning, and hide and abide in a secret place and hide thyself. I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where thou art. I will commune with my father of thee, and what I see, that I will tell thee. And Jonathan spake good of David unto his Saul his father, and said unto him, let not the king sin against his servant against David, because he hath not sinned against thee, and because his works have been to thee were very good. For he did put his life in his hand and slew the Philistine, and the Lord wrought a great salvation for Israel, for all Israel. Thou sawest it and didst rejoice. Wherefore then wilt thou sin against innocent blood to slay David without cause? So he said, why are you going to kill David? David went out there and killed the Philistines, right? You saw, and you rejoiced too, right? And Saul hearkened or listened unto the voice of Jonathan, and Saul swear, as the Lord liveth, he shall not be slain. And Jonathan called David, and Jonathan showed himself all those things. And Jonathan brought David to Saul, and he was in his presence as in time past. And there was war again, and David went out and fought with the Philistines and slew them with a great slaughter, and they fled from him. And the evil spirit from the Lord was upon Saul, as he sat in his house with his javelin in his hand. And David played with his hand. Now, see, it says that, and the evil spirit from the Lord was upon Saul, as he sat in his house with his javelin in his hand. And David played with his hand. And Saul sought to smite David, even to the wall with the javelin. So he wanted to take that javelin and basically stab him to the wall with it. But he slipped away out of Saul's presence, and he smote the javelin into the wall, and David fled and escaped that night. Saul also sent messengers unto David's house to watch him, and to slay him in the morning. And Michal, David's wife, told him, and Michal, David's wife, told him, saying, if thou save not thy life tonight, tomorrow thou shalt be slain. So Michal let David down through a window, and he went and fled and escaped. And Michal took an image and laid it in the bed and put a pillow of goat's hair for his bolster and covered it with a cloth. When Saul sent messages to take David, she said, "He is sick." And Saul sent the messengers again to see David, saying, "Bring him up to me in the bed, that I might slay him." Wow. And when the messengers were come in, behold, there was an image in the bed with a pillow of goat's hair for his bolster. And Saul said unto Michal, "Why hast thou deceived me so, and sent away my enemy, that he is escaped?" And Michal answered Saul, he said unto me, "Let me go. Why should I kill thee?" So David fled and escaped and came to Samuel to Ramah and told him all the Saul that had done unto him. And he and Samuel went and dwelt in Noath. And it was told to Saul, saying, "Behold, David is in Noath in Ramah." And Saul sent messengers to take David. And when they saw that the company of prophets prophesying, and Samuel standing as an appointed over them, the Spirit of God was upon the messengers of Saul, and they also prophesied. And it was told Saul, he sent other messengers, and they prophesied likewise. And Saul sent messengers again the third time, and they prophesied also. Then went he also to Ramah and came to a great well that is in Suchu, and he asked and said, "Where are Samuel and David?" And one said, "Behold, they be at Neoth in Ramah." And he went thither to Neoth in Ramah, and the Spirit of God was upon him also. And he went on and prophesied until he came to Noath in Ramah. And he stripped off his clothes and prophesied before Samuel in like manner, and lay down naked all that night. And all that night, wherefore they say, "Is Saul also among the prophets?" And David fled from Noath in Ramah, and came and said before Jonathan, "What have I done? What is mine iniquity? What is my sin before thy father, that he seeketh my life?" And he said unto him, "God forbid, thou shalt not die. Behold, my father will neither do nothing great either, or great or small, but that he will show it me. And why should my father hide this thing from me? It is not so." And David sware moreover and said, "Thy father certainly knoweth that I have found grace in thine eyes." And he said, "Let not Jonathan know this, lest he be grieved. But truly as the Lord liveth, as thy soul liveth, there is but a step between me and death." Then said Jonathan unto David, "Whatsoever thy soul desireth, I will even do it for thee." Okay, now here he comes, y'all. And we're going to read this carefully. And David said unto Jonathan, "Behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I shall not," that means the new month, "and I should not fail to sit with the king at meat. But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field until the third day at evening. If thy father at all miss me, then say, David earnestly asked leave of me, that he might run to Bethlehem, his city. For there is a yearly sacrifice there for all the family. If he say thus, it is well, thy servant shall have peace. But if he be very wroth, then be sure that evil is determined by him. Therefore, thou shalt deal kindly with thy servant, for thou hast brought thy servant into a covenant of the Lord with thee. Notwithstanding, if there be in me iniquity, slay me thyself. For why shouldest thou bring me to thy father? So he told Jonathan, if I got iniquity, I'd rather for you to slay me instead of you bringing me to thy father. And Jonathan said, far be it from thee. For if I knew certainly that evil were determined by my father to come upon thee, then would not I tell thee? So he said, I would tell you if my father. So David said earlier that he might not tell you. He might keep it from you, because he might keep that from you so you won't be grieved. That's what he said earlier. But now Jonathan is saying, if my father planned to do evil to you, I would definitely tell you. I'm gonna let you know. In our terms today, that's how we talk today. But anyway, let's keep going. And Jonathan said unto David, come, let us go out in the field. And they went out both of them into the field. And Jonathan said unto David, O Lord God of Israel, when have I sounded my father about tomorrow any time, or the third day? And behold, if there be a good toward David, I then send not unto thee and show it thee. So he's praying to God that if something's gonna happen to David, that he want him to show him. The Lord do so much and much more to Jonathan. But if it please my father to do thee evil, then I will show it thee, and send thee away, that thou mayest go in peace, and the Lord be with thee, as he has been with my father. And thou shalt not only while yet I live show me the kindness of the Lord, that I die not, but also thou shalt not cut off thy kindness from the house forever. No, not when the Lord hath cut off the enemies of David, every one of them from the face of the earth. So Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, let the Lord even require it at the hand of David's enemies. And Jonathan caused David to swear again, and because he loved him, for he loved him as he loved his own soul. So he loved him like a brother, even like a deeper than a brother, that good brotherly love. All right. Then Jonathan said to David, tomorrow is the new moon, and thou shalt be missed, because thy seat will be empty. And when thou hast stayed 3 days, then thou shalt go down quickly and come to the place where thou didst hide thyself when the business was in hand, and shalt remain by the stone Ezel. And I will shoot thee 3 arrows on the side thereof, as though I shot at a mark. And behold, I will send a lad, saying, go find the arrows. If I expressly say unto the lad, behold, the arrows are on the side of thee, take them. Then come thou, for there is peace to thee, and no hurt, as the Lord liveth. But if I shall say, but if I say thus unto the young man, behold, the arrows are beyond thee, go thy way, for the Lord has sent thee away. So y'all understanding what's going on. So they making a pact or agreement, right, between these two. He's saying that he's telling him to go by the rock what he hit last time, and he gonna say, I'm gonna have some arrows, and I'm gonna shoot 3 arrows. Okay, and if I especially say unto you, behold, the arrows are on the side of thee, take them and come. So if you shoot them and they come on by the side of thee, then that means he's safe. He can come up to him, grab the arrows, and come back. That means his father is not trying to kill him. But if he say, I shoot these arrows beyond you, and he tell the lad to go beyond you to get the arrows, that means it's tough for him to run, because his father wants to kill him. And that's basically what they're doing right here. So this case, y'all didn't understand that. That's what's going on. All right. I said, I'm starting 22 again. But if I say thus unto the young man, behold, the arrows are beyond thee, go thy way, for the Lord has sent thee away. And as touching the matter which thou and I have spoken of, behold, the Lord be between me, thee, and me forever. So David hid himself in the field. And when the new moon was come, the king sat him down to eat meat. And the king sat upon his seat, as at other times, even upon the seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day, for he thought something had befallen him. He is not clean. Surely he is not clean. And it came to pass on the morrow. Now, the reason why he said that, because during this time they had certain laws that they couldn't be at the table if they were unclean. If they touched a dead body or whatever, if they did something so they couldn't be at the table. All right. Verse 27. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month, that David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan, his son, wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to meet, neither yesterday nor today? And Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked me leave to go to Bethlehem. And he said, let me go, I pray thee, for our family hath a sacrifice in the city. And my brother, he hath commanded me to be there. And now, if he have found favor in thine eyes, let me get away, I pray thee, and see my brethren. Therefore he cometh not unto the king's table. Now, of course, y'all, this was made up, right? As y'all know, David wasn't really going to his brother's house and none of that stuff. This was all a made-up story by David. I want y'all to pay attention to this, all right? They made this up to Saul to see how his father would react. In verse 30, then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said unto him, thou son of a perverse, rebellious woman, do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion, unto the confusion of thy mother's nakedness? For as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom. Wherefore now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die. And Jonathan answered Saul his father and said unto him, where shall he be slain? Wherefore shall he be slain? Or why are you going to kill him? What did he do? What hath he done? And Saul cast a javelin at him to smite him. Wow. He cast this javelin at Jonathan. Wherefore Jonathan knew that it was determined of his father to slay David. So Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger and did eat no meat the second day of the month, for he was grieved for David, because his father had done him shame. And it came to pass in the morning that Jonathan went out in the field, and the time appointed with David, and a little lad with him. And he said unto the lad, run, find out now the arrows which I shoot. And as the lad ran, he shot an arrow beyond him. And when the lad was come to the place to the arrow which Jonathan had shot, Jonathan cried after the lad and said, is it not now the arrow beyond thee? And Jonathan cried after the lad, make speed haste, stay not. And Jonathan's lad gathered up the arrows and came to his master. But the lad knew not anything. Only Jonathan and David knew the matter. That's very important. Y'all get this. Only David. This was a covenant between David and Jonathan only. Nobody else knew nothing. Okay? Because David was scared because Saul was trying to kill him. So David told nobody because he didn't know who was in cahoots with Saul. And only person he could trust at this time was Jonathan. The lad didn't even know. The lad didn't even know he was part of this. All right? So let's keep reading. And Jonathan gave his artillery unto his lad and said unto him, go carry them to the city. And as soon as the lad was gone, David arose out of the place toward the south and fell on his face to the ground and bowed himself 3 times. And they kissed one another and wept with one another until David exceeded. Now, this was no homosexual thing and nothing like that, y'all. This was brotherly love. They really loved him. It's like you love your best friend, right? And Jonathan said to David, go in peace, for as much as we have sworn both of us in the name of the Lord, saying, the Lord be between me and thee, and between my seed and thy seed forever. He arose and departed, and Jonathan went into the city. Now we're going to get to chapter 21. Then David came to Nob, Amalek the priest. And Amalek was afraid at the meeting of David and said unto him, why art thou alone and no man with thee? Now you hear what he just said? Why are you by yourself? Why are you all alone? Now this is the part where Jesus got wrong, y'all. And all of y'all got wrong because y'all don't never read it because y'all don't read it. Y'all just believe what was in the New Testament. And I know, because I did too. You just thought it was real, right? But let's read it. And David said unto Amalek the priest, the king hath commanded me a business, and said unto me, let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee. And what I have commanded thee, I have appointed my servants to such and such a place. This was a lie. You see that? It was a white lie, but it was a lie. He couldn't tell nobody. The king was trying to kill him. King Saul didn't have him on no business. David is fleeing from king. So he's lying, he's telling them this so that because he's telling them that he's on a business from the king. If he told the king that Amalek, that the king was trying to kill him, he couldn't tell him that. And in first verse, he tells you David was alone. But Jesus said, have you heard what happened? You know what? Let's go back, because we're going to do this so everybody gets it. Okay? Let's go to Matthew 12 again. And I'm showing you that the stuff was made up, y'all. Here you go. But when the Pharisees saw it, let's read at the top. At that time, Jesus went out on the Sabbath day through the corn, and his disciples were hungered and began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day. But he said unto them, have you not read, this is Jesus supposed to be speaking, have you not read what David did? And when he was hungered, and they that were with him, there was nobody with David, y'all. David was alone. David made the story up, just like Jonathan made the story up at the table that David went to go see his that David wanted to go sacrifice with his family. His brother commanded him to come. That was a made-up story. David's making the story up again because Saul is trying to kill him. And David was alone. As it is stated in the other chapter, only Jonathan and David knew of the matter. Even the lad didn't know what was going on. Nobody knew what David was. He was hiding. All right. Now it says, but he said unto them, have you not read what David did when he was hungered, and they that were with him? How he entered into the house of God and did eat the shewbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priest. And also, we're going to show that it was lawful for him to eat. Now let's go back to 1 Samuel. '21. And y'all saw that, right? So now y'all clearly know there's a problem with the New Testament. Because only David was alone, and him and Jonathan only knew what was going on. And there was nobody with David. Nobody. Then came David, verse 21 again, chapter 21, verse 1. Then came David to Nob, to Amalek the priest, and Amalek was afraid at the meeting of David, and said unto him, why art thou alone, and no man with thee? And David said unto Amalek the priest, the king hath commanded me a business, and has said unto me, let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee, and what I have commanded thee, and I have appointed my servants to such and such a place. Now therefore, what is under thy hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in my hand, or what there is present. So David said, now I want something to eat. David was hungry. And he was by himself. Right? So this story he's telling. And the priest answered David and said, this is no common bread under my hand, but there is hollow bread. If the young men have kept themselves at least from women. And David answered the priest and said unto him, of a truth, women have been kept from us about these 3 days since I came out, and the vessels of the young men are holy, and the bread is mine and manna common. Yea, though it were sanctified this day in the vessel. So the priest gave him hallowed bread, for there was no bread but their shewbread that was taken from before the Lord to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away. Now, David had no other men with him, but David told a story to the priest that he's on a business and he got his people and they appointed to my servants to such a place. So David got the 5 loaves of bread, y'all, but David had no servants or nobody with him. He was alone. He came by himself. So why didn't Jesus know that? When you read the story, if you read the story carefully, you'll see that only 2 people knew of the matter. Let's get them, but we're gonna keep reading this story out. He said, let no man know anything about the business where I send thee. Let's read verse 2 again. And David said unto Amalek the priest, the king hath commanded me a business, and has said unto me, let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee, and what I have commanded thee. And I have appointed my servants to such a place. So this whole thing that David's making up, all right, he made this whole story up. So the priest gave him a hallowed bread. Now the priest said, if you haven't been with any women and you kept your vessels hollow, so that you can eat this bread. So as I was stating, that it wasn't really unlawful for him to eat because he wasn't with no women. So he actually could have ate that bread. Now, where the lie came in, or the untruth came in, is that that bread was for himself. So the priest gave him hallowed bread, for there was no bread but the shewbread that was taken from before the Lord to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away. Now a certain man of the servants of Saul was there that day, detained before the Lord, and his name was Doeg, an Edomite, the chiefest of the herdmen that belonged to Saul. And David said unto Amalek, and is there not here under thy hand spear or sword? For I have neither brought my sword nor my weapons with me, because the king's business required haste. See, he's made this up, y'all. And the priest said, the sword of Goliath, the Philistine, whom thou slewest, is in the valley of Elah. Behold, it is here wrapped in the cloth behind the ephod. If thou wilt take that, take it. For there is no other save that here. And David said, there is none like that. Give it me. And David arose and fled that day for the fear of Saul, and went into Achish, the king of Gath. And the servants of Achish said unto him, is not this David the king of the land? Did they not sing one to another of him in dances, saying, Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s? And David laid up these words in his heart, and was sore afraid of Achish, the king of Gath. And he changed his behavior before them, and feigned himself mad in their hands, and scrabbled on the doors of the gate, and let his spittle fall down upon his beard. So David was looking like he was crazy. He basically looked like he was a man with mental illness. He was scribbling. He had his big beard on his face. He was had like spittle coming down his beard. Then said Achish unto his servants, lo, ye see the man is mad. Wherefore then have ye brought him to me? Have I need of a madman, that ye have brought this fellow to play the madman in my presence? Shall this fellow come into my house? David therefore departed thence and escaped to a cave, Adullam, and when his brethren and his father's house heard it, they went down thither to him. And everyone that was in the distress, and everyone that was in debt, and everyone that was discontented gathered themselves unto him, and he became a captain over them. See, when they heard that he was there, then all of his people came. So again, y'all, now y'all are seeing the real story, how it really went. And Jesus got it wrong. And where's the pastors that should have figured this out a long time ago? Where are they? Where are these pastors that should have known what I just did? I proved it to you that David did. So Jesus was wrong. So whoever wrote and created the New Testament wrote this story, created this story, and they didn't know, and they had no understanding. Or did they did know and created a story off of it. But now when you go read the original account, you will see that I'm not the one that's lying. And I need all my Christian naysayers out there, all the people who've been telling me that I'm wrong, all the people who don't want to talk to me no more because I'm not a Christian anymore. Y'all really need to see this. One more time. I'm going to go to Matthew 12. So now y'all see. He asked him in verse 20, and Samuel asked him. Amalek asked David, why are you alone? Then David came to Nob, to Amalek the priest, and Amalek was afraid at the meeting of David and said unto him, why art thou alone, and no man with thee? And y'all know why, because we just read the story. Jonathan, him, and David had to make the pact because Saul was trying to kill him. But instead, when David said he was on a mission, basically from King Saul. Verse 2, and David said unto Amalek the priest, the king hath commanded me a business, and has said unto me, let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee. And what I have commanded thee, I have appointed my servants to such a place. This was all made up. Why didn't Jesus know? Back to chapter 20, right before it. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. All right. Verse 39. Let's go to, and Jonathan cried, verse 38, and Jonathan cried after the lad, make speed, haste, stay not. And Jonathan's lad gathered up the arrows and came to his master. But the lad knew not anything. Only Jonathan and David knew the matter. And that's why David was alone. Okay? Now back to Matthew 12. And y'all see that whoever wrote this got it wrong. And if it was Jesus, as y'all believe, that said this, then something's wrong with your Savior. Because he should have known the story. But when the Pharisees saw it, they saw him eating the corn. Thy disciples that was not did not which is lawful on the Sabbath day. But he said unto them, have you not read what David did when he was a hungered, and they that were with him? Sorry, there was nobody with him. How he entered the house of God, and they eat the shewbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them that were with him, but only for the priest. And Jesus got that wrong. The priest Amalek told him that if you can eat the bread as long as you have abstained from being, kept your vessel holy, kept your body holy, and you have abstained from women. Pretty much from sexual intercourse. That's what he was talking about. Right? So, and David was all right, okay to eat the bread because he was not with a woman. Right? So David could have, so it wasn't unlawful for David to eat that bread. Did y'all see that? But this is another way of showing that Jesus came to defile the laws of the Most High. They brought this Jesus character in to defile the Most High's day. I want y'all to be able to see that. That's why he's doing this for real. This God called Jesus, everybody worshiping today. And he's took it the place of the creator. And y'all think that this is God. Okay, so let's go to the next one now. I hope y'all see that. I'm continue down on this chapter right here. Stay in Matthew 12 for a minute, right? I'm gonna just read down. Let's keep going. I'm gonna pick it up on verse 5. Or have ye not read in the law how on the Sabbath day the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? But I say unto you, this is the place, but in this place is one greater than the temple. But if ye had not known what this meaneth, I will have mercy and not sacrifice. Ye would not have condemned the guiltless. You would have condemned the guiltless. For the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath day. Wow. So he's the Lord over top of the Most High's day, y'all. Let's keep going. And when he was departed thence, he went into their synagogue. And behold, there was a man which had his hand withered, and they asked him, saying, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath days, that they might accuse him? And he said unto them, what man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and it fall into the pit of the Sabbath on the Sabbath day? Will he not lay hold on it and lift it out? How much then is a man better than a sheep? Wherefore is it lawful to do well on the Sabbath days? Then said he to the man, stretch forth thine hand. And then he stretched forth his hand, and it was restored whole, like as the other. Then the priest went out and held counsel against him, how they might destroy him. But when Jesus knew it, he withdrew himself from thence, and a great multitude followed him, and he healed them all. Great multitudes followed him, and he healed them all. Y'all got that? How many people? How many? Great multitude, and he healed them all, and charged them that they should not make him known. Now, does that make sense? You just healed great multitudes, so everybody knows you. And you healed them all. And then you're going to tell everybody, but don't let nobody know who I am. I'm just saying, y'all, make this make sense. That it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, here we go. Behold, my servant whom I have chosen, my beloved, in whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he shall show judgment to the Gentiles. He shall not strive nor cry, neither shall any man hear his voice in the streets. Now, hold on, y'all. Didn't everybody just hear his voice in the streets? Huh? Everybody just heard his voice in the streets. Well, hold on. He shall not strive nor cry, neither shall any man hear his voice in the streets. A bruised reed shall he not break, and a smoking flax shall he not quench, till he send forth judgment unto victory. And in his name shall the Gentiles trust. Then was brought unto him one possessed with a devil, blind and dumb, and he healed him, insomuch that the blind and dumb both spake and saw. Okay, I'm going to pause it right there. Now, y'all hear what he just said. And according to this came from Isaiah, right? Isaiah. Now, this is a fulfilling of prophecy that was spoken by Isaiah. Now, I just showed y'all a couple of things already that don't make sense, right? He shall not strive nor cry, neither shall any man hear his voice in the streets. That's a lie. If it was talking about Jesus, because we just read that what? He said, but when Jesus knew it, he withdrew himself from thence, and great multitudes followed him, and he healed them all, and charged them that they should not make him known. Now, I'm sorry, but that doesn't make sense. If great multitudes followed you and you healed them all, then everybody knew you. So why would you tell people not to make you known? That doesn't make any sense. But then it says, now this was in Isaiah, he shall not strive nor cry, neither shall any man hear his voice in the streets. So then how did he heal them in the streets? How did he talk to them if nobody heard him? Okay. But now we're going to go to the book of Isaiah and we're going to see what it was really talking about. Okay, y'all. So now, everybody, Christians, pastors, everybody, whoever listening, I'm taking y'all to where they got it from. I want y'all to turn your Bibles to Isaiah chapter 42. And that little part that we read out of there, behold, it is 42, verse 1. But behold, my servant, whom I uphold, mine elect, in whom my soul delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him. He shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles. Now, remember, if y'all, anybody y'all that's been following my video so far, the he, the him, all that is still it's not talking about a person. It's talking about a group of people. And a lot of people in the New Testament, or the Christians, they don't understand this because they stuck on the New Testament, right? And they don't get it. But I've showed through my other videos, and I might have to show for the people who have never seen this one, just watching this for the first time, to make that clear. But I don't want to kind of go off on a tangent and go on that point real quick. But if you watch any of my videos, you'll see that going to the reading to the Old Testament is actually not talking about one person. It's talking about a group of people, okay? Behold, my servant, whom I uphold, mine elect, in whom my soul delighteth, I have put my spirit upon him. He shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles. Now, see, this is what they used in the new, whoever created the new, they used this to fool you, okay? And then, like I said, it's really a joke, and they're kind of playing on people's ignorance, and it's not funny at all. But it shows how conniving and evil they are. Look, he shall not cry, nor lift up, nor cause his voice to be heard in the streets. He talking about who? The Most High's servants. A bruised reed shall he not break, and the smoking flax shall he not quench. He shall bring forth judgment unto truth. He shall not fail, nor be discouraged, till he has set judgment in the earth, and the islands shall wait for his law. So they used this and said that this was talking about Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, so now I'm in the book of Isaiah chapter 41, as y'all can see at the top, 41. Let's go to verse 8. Let me show y'all who the servant is. It says, but thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. So he said, but thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. Thou, whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief of men thereof, and said unto thee, thou art my servant. I have chosen thee, and not cast thee away. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Behold, and they that were licensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. Thou shalt seek them and shalt not find them, even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing, as a thing of naught. For I, the Lord thy God, will uphold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. Fear not, thou worm, Jacob, and ye men of Israel, I help thee, saith the Lord. and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shalt make the hills as chaff. Thou shalt fan them as with the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them. And thou shalt rejoice in the Lord, and shalt glory in thy Holy One of Israel. See, when the poor and the needy in the water there is gone none, and their tongue faileth for thirst, I, the Lord, would hear them. I, the God of Israel, would not forsake them. So he said, Israel is his servant. Okay. Now, let me go back because I know still some of y'all, I know, I know. Y'all would not, y'all just not going to believe what I said, you know, how the Most High always uses, there's so many places I can go. Let's do this one. Let's do John 32. Let's go here. So y'all can see. All right. It says, give ye, O heavens, I will speak and hear thee, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, and the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass, because I will publish the name of the Lord, ascribe ye greatness unto our God. He is the rock, his work is perfect, for all his ways are judgment, a God of truth and without iniquity, and just is he. They have corrupted themselves, their spot is not the spot of children, they are perverse and crooked generation. Though thus ye requite the Lord, all ye foolish people and unwise, is it not he thy father that bought thee? Hath he not made thee and established thee? Then it goes into this. Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will make thee tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations their heritage, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance, the one we just read about. He founded him, see? He founded him in a desert land and in a waste howling wilderness. He led him about. He instructed him. He kept him as the apple of his eye. So how are you using the word him? He, him, all that. So when they saw that, when Christians read that, they could assume they're talking about Jesus, and it's not. As an eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttered over her wings, spread it abroad her wings, taking them now, see, bearing them on her wings. So the Lord alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with him. So Most High said, there was nobody else with me, but he was by himself. And y'all say, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. No. So the Lord alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with him. He made him ride on the high places of the earth, that he may eat the increase of the fields, and he may lead him to suck honey out of the rock, out of the oil of flint rock. But Jeshurun, I'm just going to skip now. But Jeshurun, which is Israel, waxed fat and kicked, and thou art waxed fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook the God which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. See, then it says they provoked him to jealousy. Now notice it said he, him, but then it says they. Are you confused? See, if you read this, if you knew about the so-called Old Testament, you wouldn't be confused at all. They provoked him to jealousy. They did, right? With strange gods, with abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up. When your fathers feared not, one of your fathers feared not. Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten God that formed thee. And when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. So he's just talking about the nation of Israel. They have moved me to jealousy, that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities. And I will move them to jealousy with those that are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. And I'm not going to get into this, but that's where we are today. That's why we're on the bottom. Okay? Because we have provoked them to anger, and now we got a foolish nation that's running over top of us. There we go. So that's just one example of the he, him thing. Now we're going to go to Isaiah 42, and we're going to continue to read this. I hope y'all understanding how I'm putting this out. So I had to know. So now it says, that was 41:8, and I read it down, right? Isaiah 41:8, when it's talked about who is servant. He said he chose Israel as a servant. Now he's still talking about the same servant. Behold, my servant whom I uphold, mine elect, in whom my soul delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him. Now, out of the children of Israel, he's saying, but Christians don't understand this, he has an elect group. So out of the children of Israel, he has an elect. You get that? No, y'all don't. Let's go to Isaiah 49 real quick. Man, I know y'all didn't get that. Let me show you. Let me show you. It came out like that. Zay. There it goes. I don't know why my computer wouldn't come up. Okay, listen to this, y'all. Listen, O owls, unto me, and hearken ye my people from far. The Lord hath called me from the womb. From the bowels of my mother hath he made mention of my name. He hath made my mouth like a sharp sword. In the shadow of his hand hath he hid me, and made me a polished shaft. In his quiver hath he hid me, and said unto me, Thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified. You see that? So out of his quiver of arrows, he has special ones that's polished in his shaft. He got made me a polished shaft. In his quiver hath he hid me. Y'all know what a quiver is. That's what the quiver is, where they hold the arrows at, like bow and arrows. And inside of that, he has special arrows. Or he elect arrows, that he called it his elect. So out of the children of Israel, out of his people, he has an elect group to wake the people up. See? And that's what's going on right now. So that's who he's talking about in Isaiah chapter 42. But we're going to see that. Okay? All right. So, behold, my servant, whom I uphold, mine elect. See, you got to read this right. He's talking about his elect, in whom my soul delighteth. That's who he delighted in. I have put my spirit upon him. And it's not one person, as we shall see. He shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles. He shall not cry, nor lift up, nor cause his voice to be heard in the streets. A bruised reed shall he not break, and the smoking flax shall he not quench. He shall bring forth judgment unto truth. Because this is the truth-seeking network. By the way, I had to throw that in there. He shall not fail, nor be discouraged, till he have set judgment in the earth. And the islands shall wait for his law. The isles are islands. Thus said God the Lord, he that created the heavens and stretched them out, he that spread forth the earth and that which cometh out of it, he that giveth breath unto the people upon it, and spirit to them that walk therein. I, the Lord, have called thee in righteousness. I will hold thine hand and will keep thee and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentiles, to open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisoners from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. I am the Lord, that is my name, and my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. You see that? He says, I am the Lord. See, that it really didn't say that. His name was there. That is my name, and my glory will I not give to another. He never gave his glory to nobody else, y'all. He would have never gave he didn't have a son called Jesus he gave his glory to. The Most High, which I showed y'all in one of my other, I think it was the one, could have been the Christmas tree. I think it was in that video, maybe. Did I show y'all that they took the Most High's name out the book and replaced it with the Lord God? Right? But he won't give his glory to nobody else, neither my praise to graven images. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Because before they spring forth, I tell you of them. He says, so before something come out, I let you know what's going to happen. Sing unto the Lord a new song, and his praise from the end of the earth, yet that goeth down to the sea, and all that there is therein, the islands and the inhabitants thereof. Let the wilderness and the cities thereof lift up their voice, and the villages that Kedar doth inhabit. Let the inhabitants of the rocks sing. Let them shout from the top of the mountains. Let them give glory unto the Lord, and declare his praise in the islands. The Lord goeth forth as a mighty man. He stirreth up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies. I have long time holding my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. I will make waste mountains and hills, and dry up all the herbs. I will make the rivers islands, and I will dry up the pools. I will bring the blind by the way that they knew not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them. I make and crooked things straight. These things will I do unto them, and not forsake them. They shall be turned back. They shall be greatly ashamed that trust in graven images, that say to the molten images, ye are our gods. Hear ye deaf, and look ye blind, that ye may see. Who is blind but my servant? See? Then he says this, who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant? So even though he sent them, he's saying that his servant is blind. Listen, seeing many things, but thou observest not. Opening the ears, but he heareth not. The Lord is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable. But this is a people. Get that? But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, that they hid in prisons' houses. They are for prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord? He against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Therefore he poured upon him the fury of his anger, and strength of battle, and it hath set him on fire round about. Yet he knew not, and it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart. He didn't even bring it to his heart. So this is a people, the most servants people, and He said, who is blind? Who is blind but my servant? Or deaf as my messenger that said. So even though his people that he sent, we are a blind and deaf messenger. And this is a people. Okay? So as I told you before, when it said he, him in the beginning of this, it clearly tells you that this is a people. So let's go back to the New Testament. Matthew chapter 12. All right? This wasn't talking about Jesus at all. Because if it was talking about Jesus, then he called Jesus blind. Who was blind but my and deaf? Is that your Lord, blind and deaf? Because it's still, it's the same servant that he's talking about in the beginning of Isaiah chapter 42. It's the same servant. But they said this was a fulfillment in Matthew 12. Look at this. Let's go to Matthew 12. Here you go, right here, verse 17. And he charged them that they should not make him known, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, behold, my servant whom I have chosen, my beloved, in whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he shall show judgment to the Gentiles. He shall not strive nor cry, neither shall any man hear his voice in the street. And in his name shall the Gentiles. You see, and then you see how they took that little part out? They stole that from Isaiah 42. I'm showing you where they got that from, Christians. They didn't tell you where they got it from. I'm showing you where they got it from. And it was not talking about Jesus at all. It was talking about his servant Israel, his elect. They are blind. It said, yeah, he chose them. And our people, these are our people. And it's got nothing to do with that. So go back now and read Isaiah chapter 41 and 42. This is where they got this from, chapter 42. And it's not talking about Jesus at all. Because if you're saying this is talking about Jesus, then it's also calling Jesus blind and deaf. Because he said, it says, then it might be fulfilled which spoken by Isaiah the prophet. Behold, my servant whom I have chosen, my beloved in whom the soul was well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he shall. So they said Jesus fulfilled this servanthood, right? So let's go back. And what does it say about this servant in Isaiah 42? What else does it say about this servant? The same servant, yeah. And it says this, verse 10, 19. Who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Is this Jesus, y'all? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant, seeing many things. But it says this, but this is a people. You see that? Do y'all see this? How they pleasurized the New Testament and made this up. I'm not the one, I'm just the messenger showing you the truth of what they did. And then they went into the blind thing. Did y'all see this? Hear ye deaf, and look ye blind, that ye may see. Who is blind? Now I'm going to show you how they play with y'all right here too. Let's go back to Matthew 12. Look what they did. This is how they got their storyline. Let me show you how they did it. Let's go to Matthew 12. Look, right after that, behold the servant stuff. Watch this. Look what happens next. Okay, let's go back to the fulfillment. Was that 17? Yeah. Then it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, behold, my servant whom I have chosen, my beloved, in whom my soul is pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he shall show judgment to the Gentiles. He shall not strive nor cry, neither shall any man hear his voice in the streets. A bruised reed shall he not break, and smoking flax shall he not quench, till he has sent forth judgment into victory. Look what they went. Look what they went. Look at verse 22. Then was brought unto him one possessed with a devil, blind and dumb, and he healed him, insomuch that the blind and the dumb both spake and saw. You see that? You see how they went through the blind over there, and then right after that they put a blind verse. Then they saw somebody blind and dumb. You see how they playing with y'all? And I'm just trying to wake you up that Jesus is made up, and everybody on all their posts are posting about this God, Jesus. All right, yes, I'm in Psalms chapter 19, and we're going to show that I'm here to talk about the law now. Let me show y'all something else, and I'm gonna have to end this. I'm gonna have to do my other stuff later on because I wanted this video is gonna take too long. It's taking too long as it is already. But I want to show y'all another contradiction or another lie. This is gonna be the last one, I think. Okay, so I'm in Psalms chapter 19. And this is what it says, Christians. Everybody listen to this. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament show his handiwork. Day unto day utter his speech, and night unto night show his knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun, the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber and rejoicing as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it, and there is nothing hid from the heat of thereof. This is what it says about the law of the Lord. The law of the Lord is perfect. What is it? Perfect. Y'all hear this. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. What does it do? Convert your soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The judgment of the Lord are true, righteous altogether. More to be desired than gold, yea, than much fine gold, sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb. You hear that? So again, the law of the Most High is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Most High is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of the Most High are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Most High is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of the Most High is clean, enduring forever. And the judgment of the Most High are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired they than gold, yea, than much fine gold, sweeter also than the honey and the honeycomb. You see that? The law is perfect. Now let's go to the New Testament. Okay? Let's go to the New Testament. Let's see what it says. Hey, y'all, before I go to the New Testament, there's one thing I want to show y'all. So look where we at. We in Psalms chapter 19, verse 7. You see this, right? The law of the Lord is perfect. Y'all got this? This is Most High, right? Now we're going to the New Testament. This is Psalms 19:7. Now we guess where we're gonna go. We're gonna go to the book of Hebrews, and we're gonna go to Hebrews 7:19. You see what they did? Chapter 7. Let's read this. Let's go to 7:19. I'm gonna skip down. I read a little bit more, but that's when it goes right to the point. All right. Look at what it says here, y'all. Let's read above it. For he testified, let's go to 17. No, no, no. Let's go to 16. We in Hebrews chapter 7, verse 16. Who is made not after the law of a carnal commandment, but after the power of an endless life. For he testified, thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek, or Melchizedek. For there is verily a disannulling of the commandment going before for the weakness and unprofitableness thereof. For the law made nothing perfect, but the bringing in of a better hope did, by which we draw nigh unto God. You see what they did? They went, this New Testament, y'all, is going against the Most High. Christians, do you see what y'all doing? The people who created the New Testament, and I've been proving it through my videos, that they have gone against the Most High. It said for the law. And see what they did? This is Hebrews 7:19, and the other one came from Psalms 19:7. They playing with y'all right in front of your face. If you read out the back of the book, you won't know the truth. For the law made nothing perfect, but the bringing in of a better hope did. It's talking about their God, Jesus. They created this. And I hope this video is waking y'all up. I mean, they made this whole mess up. You got the 4 books, then you got pretty much Paul after that. Right? 4 gospels. None of all of them inconsistent. Everything I've shown you. And like I told you, I could do this all day. And I'm not even done yet. So I'm going to be doing this. And I know I want to get to my financial videos and my other stuff. But this is deep, y'all. I am so tired of people not reading or not paying attention. People just regurgitate everything. This is huge, what I'm showing y'all. And I'm showing you direct. That this New Testament is totally against the Most High. For the law made nothing perfect. But the bringing in of a better hope did. Come on, Jesus. And we already know, if you've been watching my videos, you know he's not real. But they created this and they got the world following this. And y'all talking about the world church? You're already in it. You're already in it. Wow. For the law made nothing perfect, but the bringing in of a better hope did, by which we draw near unto God. And insomuch as not without an oath, he was made priest. For those priests were made without an oath. But this with an oath by him that said unto him, the Lord swear will not repent. Thou art a priest forever. See, this is all bullcrap. By so much was Jesus made surety a better testament. Now, as y'all know, the Most High never had a testament. He never had a testament. A testament goes into effect when somebody dies. Right? So they saying now they got a better testament or better than the Most High had. And we know that the covenant of the Most High is not even in yet. The covenant, when the Most High comes back, he's going to place his word in our heart. The New Testament or the new covenant is not even in. By so much was Jesus made a surety of a better testament. And a testament comes after somebody's died, or a will. It's like a will. When somebody dies, then a testament goes into effect. But the Most High never had a testament. He made a covenant with his people. Verse 23, and they truly were many priests, because they were not suffered to continue by reason of death. But this man, because he continued ever, hath an unchangeable priesthood. Wherefore he is able to save them to the uttermost that come unto him, unto God by him, seeing he ever liveth to make intercessions for them. For such a high priest became us, who is holy, harmless, undefiled, separate from sinners, and made higher than the heavens, who needed not daily at those priests to offer up sacrifice, first for his own sins, and then for the people, and for his did once. For he did once, and when he offered him up himself. Now you see that? For the law maketh men high priests which have infirmity, but the word of oath which was since the law maketh the Son who is consecrated forevermore. See, they made all this up. Now, y'all already know the Most High said there won't be no sacrifice, right? Right? Y'all do know that. At least I hope y'all know that. See? Hosea, for the children of Israel, this is chapter 3, verse 4. For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image, and without an ephod, and without a teraphim. Afterwards shall the children of Israel return and seek the Lord their God and David their king, and shall fear the Lord and his goodness in the latter days. And that's where we are. So the Most High said he didn't make a new sacrifice in between time. Okay, there was no sacrifice needed. Most High said you're going to buy without one. They did a number. These people did a number on y'all, and I'm trying to open your eyes so y'all can see the truth. Okay, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 37. This wasn't meant for being here, but I got to show it to y'all. All right, I'm just gonna skip down because I know this video is long. All right, so this is an end days right here, right? This is when the Most High brings everybody back. He says, even with the stick, even of Judah, and make them the stick, make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. Okay, one stick. Come on, he's gonna bring all the Israel back. And the sticks wherein thou writest shall be in thy hand before their eyes, and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord their God, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, right? Whether they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them to their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions. But I will save them out of all their dwelling places where they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their God. And David, my servant, shall be king over them. Did it say Jesus? No. And they all shall have one shepherd, and they shall also walk in my judgments, and observe my statutes, and do them. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt. And they shall dwell therein, and they and their children's children forever. And my servant David shall be their prince forever. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them. I will place them and multiply them, and will set them in my sanctuary in the midst forevermore. My tabernacle also shall be with them. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. This is when the Most High is going to make his covenant. He's going to make his covenant in the end. When he comes back, that's when the new covenant is coming back. So that nobody, will have to ask anybody else about what to do, or where to go, because they all gonna know. And how we know this? How do we know this? Let me show you. I gotta get off of this. All right, let's just skip down. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, here we go. Start at verse 29. In those days, they shall say no more Jeremiah 31, verse 29, Christians. In those days, they shall say no more, the fathers have eaten a sour grape, and the children teeth are set on edge. But everyone shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eateth their sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge. Behold, the days come, here you go, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the days that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husbandman unto them, saith the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord. For they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Most High. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. Thus saith the Lord, or thus saith the Most High, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, said the Lord, then the seed of Israel shall also cease from being a nation before me forever. So you see, this is your new covenant that has not come yet. All the real prophets spoke of it. But all of a sudden now you got a New Testament. And remember, the Most High never had a testament. He had a covenant. He made a covenant with his people. And they've created this new book that went totally against the Most High. And that's what the world is following today. I'm trying to wake the people up and show you that the Most High and his words and his law is perfect. Hebrews 7 said the law made nothing perfect. So we're going to go back one more time and we're going to read it. The law of the Most High is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Most High is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired they than gold, yea, than much fine gold. Sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb. You see that? And so, which one are you going to believe? Are you going to believe the Creator? And then you got to ask yourself, why did they go through such lengths to cover up the first part of the book? Why did they do this? And now Rome or the churches, they are spreading this all around the world. And this is why people are brainwashed, because they don't know the truth. Hopefully, I've given y'all some more truth to add to the videos that I already done. Please go over my previous videos, watch those, get your Bible, and you'll see that I'm not lying to you. Today, I showed you Matthew chapter 12, parts of it. I showed you uh, what Jesus was talking about, the true bread, and them eating the corn on the Sabbath day. Y'all go check that out, and you see that was false. Then I showed you, I went to Isaiah 42 because it further talked about it was fulfilled something back then, and that was false. So all this stuff is false, y'all, and y'all just need to see this. Okay. Let me just do this real quick. I'm gonna show y'all something. This is for something a little extra. So I'm going to Mark chapter 11, right? And I'm going to read down here. Okay. Let's start at verse 11. Mark chapter 11, verse 11. And Jesus entered into the Jerusalem and into the temple when he had looked round about upon all things. And now the evening tide was come. He went out unto Bethany with his 12. And on the morrow, when they were come from Bethany, he was hungry. And seeing a fig tree afar off, having leaves, he came, if happily he might find anything thereon. And when he came to it, he found nothing but leaves, for the time of figs was not yet. Okay, stop right there. No, I'm gonna just keep going. And Jesus answered and said unto it, No man eat fruit of thee hereafter forever. And his disciples heard it. And they came to Jerusalem, and Jesus went into the temple and began to cast out this that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seats and the sold doves. Let's keep going down. I don't want to read all that. And when he was in the evening was come, he went out of the city, and in the morning, as they passed by, they saw the fig tree dried up from the roots. And Peter calling to remembrance unto him, Master, behold, the fig tree which thou curses is withered away. And Jesus answered and said unto them, Have faith in God. For verily I say unto you, that whatsoever you say unto a mountain, unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shalt not doubt it in his heart, but shall believe that those things which thou hast said shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he said. Therefore I say unto you, whatsoever things you desire when you pray, believe that you receive them, and ye shall have them. Now, all this is a lie. Now, I want to show y'all something. Now, the verse told you that, now why would Jesus happily come? Let's read this again. Here we go. All right. Why would he come happily if he's the God that created the heaven and the universe, according to what y'all say? Why would he, if happily, come that he thinking he gonna find a fig on a tree? And it tells you in the same verse, for the time of figs was not yet. So why would you curse a tree, a fig tree, that its season was going to come yet? So that's like me in the wintertime looking for figs on a fig tree. Or if the figs come in the fall, in this early spring, and I walk and I see some leaves on the tree. Yeah, because the leaves will be on the tree, because that's what happens first. The leaves open up, right? And then the flowers come. And then after the flowers come, they get pollinated. Then the bees, they do their thing. And then next thing you know, you see some fruit on the tree, right? And that takes time. And they come in their season. So if he's the creator of the universe, according to what y'all say, because if we go to the book of John, right? If we go to the book of John chapter 1, let's go to John chapter 1 real quick. Okay. Let's go to John. John 1:1. And it says this: In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. So if that's true, then why happily would he come to a tree in Mark chapter 11, right? Why would Jesus come to a tree in Mark chapter 11 trying to find some fruit? So a fig on the tree, if you know, even the verse says that it wasn't time for the fig. Then you're going to curse the tree at that. Like it's the tree's fault. You made it supposedly, right? According to y'all, if y'all saying Jesus was the creator, then he made the tree. And I'm going to say y'all something else too. For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be therefore removed and cast into the sea, if thou shalt no doubt in his heart, do y'all realize how stupid that sounds? If I tell a mountain, if all of us had faith to cast mountains into the sea, you know how we be creating tsunamis like all day long? There would be nobody alive on earth. Imagine you have the power to make a mountain and you tell it to go dumping into the sea. If a mountain hits the sea, that's going to cause great tsunamis. It's going to kill millions of people. So imagine everybody walking around. Now we all got faith and we all just making mountains move. And y'all know all this is a bunch of baloney. But this is something to show y'all. If he's the creator and not without him, anything that was made, you hungry and you see a fig tree, then why would you look to see a fig on the tree if you know it ain't the season for the figs to be there yet? And then you're going to curse the tree. You see how they just make these stories up and we just follow them? Anyway, y'all, I can keep going. This is the Truth Seeker Network. And I hope y'all learned something from this video. I just want to wake everybody up. These videos have got to get out to everybody. Okay? Y'all have got to see this and show the truth about Jesus. He was a created being. He is not real. All right? So peace till next time. And this is the Truth Seeking Network. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.